Listen, we all love Shaq. Shaq has one of the biggest personalities on the floor. Even when his game had digressed, he had became a sideshow act that the NBA loved. Everybody loves Shaq. They put him in there with the Jabberwockies and everything else. Shaq could get a rap contract, do whatever Shaq wanted to do. He's going to sell commercials. He had the Golden Smile. He was Shaq Fu. He had video games. Shaq was it. The NBA rigged the games where they would have Shaq break a rim and have him get broke in the game to promote Shaquille O'Neal as the face of the NBA. Y'all remember that? Shaq was it. He was the new king of the league, and he was going to lead the charge. Shaq, the destructive force in the NBA. And nobody in the other centers, they didn't like him. They didn't support Shaq. Akeem Olajuwon and all these guys, they froze him out in that All-Star game, and they showed him up in the All-Star game. Because they didn't like the way they were being treated. And he didn't understand why they was playing him so tough in an All-Star game. And he got one tip slam dunk at the end of the game. But they showed him like, look, we finna show you that you ain't what you thinking you are, no matter what this league is giving you. And it's about respect. Now, everything they want to talk about Charles Barkley, Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal, is a prime example of somebody who got benefited by the league. They did the same thing. They gave him Phil Jackson. He had Kobe Bryant. He had Rick Fox on the team. B. Shaw. He had all these players on there to help him win a championship. Said he couldn't win with Kobe. When Phil got there, he didn't like the fact he had to share the spotlight with Kobe Bryant, who was just trying to win, who worked on his game in the offseason. Shaq goes somewhere and start eating cheeseburgers and blowing up. The league decided we're going to let the Lakers win by letting Shaq knock people over. And this only happened once Phil Jackson got there. Once Phil Jackson became the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, they swallowed the whistle and let Shaq offensive foul everybody in the path and dunk the basketball. Then it was, we don't know how to we don't know how to ref that, because he's so big. Shaq had been in the league for 5-6 years. You knew how to ref it then. Why couldn't ref it now? What was different? He was big then. He was 7 foot tall then. No, he was the only big man who didn't have any moves. He had no post moves. He had nothing. All he could do was slam the basketball. And then they start going to a hacker Shaq because basically, let's put him on a free throw line. They're not going to call anything. He didn't win championships when there were centers in the league. Once everybody started leaving the NBA and he was the only center left, they only could guard him with who? Sabonis? The centers were gone. And once they started winning championships, you saw his numbers dwindle down. He started getting hurt more. He wasn't playing full seasons. He's using the preseason to get in shape. Then him and Kobe gonna get into it because they're ready to play, and then they gotta try to cover for him because he's gonna come back and get injured. And it's my toe now. My toe hurt, and now I'm out for the whole rest of the preseason because he's coming in out of shape. So you were benefited by the league. Charles tried to win in Philly. Philly didn't do anything to try to get any players. Barkley was like, man, let's get Shaq. Like he said, I asked for Shaq. We got Charles Shackelford. And what did he not try to play with those guys? And for people to try to say Charles Barkley wasn't special, that's another equation. And whenever it comes to LeBron James, Shaq want to act like it's something wrong with anything Charles Barkley say about LeBron James because he's friends with LeBron. No, man, no, but to say he don't want to compete, no, man, don't say that, man. The comments is inappropriate. That's just it. But don't say he don't want to compete, man. What was wrong with what he said, Shaq? That's exactly what it looks like. He don't want to compete. He's asking a question. You don't want to compete? Do you want to compete? I mean, y'all in first place. You don't want to compete? Do you want to run? Is what he's asking you. He's like, man, they got everything you asked for. You the best player in the planet. You don't want to compete? It's a question. What are you going to say? Don't question it? Yeah, we going to question it. These moves act like you don't want to compete. You got more weapons than anybody else. And Charles going to talk about some, hey, you can't talk about Charles. You don't know what it's like about trying to repeat. And how hard it is to go back. How hard it is to go back? You had an easy road. Wasn't nothing out there for you. But the New Jersey Nets, are you kidding me? You end up playing them twice. Listen, who did Michael Jordan pick up? When the Chicago Bulls won the NBA championship, who did they pick up that they needed to win another year? Did they pick up anybody special? Or did they come back and win it again with what they had? Who did the Detroit Pistons pick up when they won the championship and they went back for year 2? Who did they pick up that they needed to win it again? They lost Rick Mahorn and went back and won it. So they lost players, but they went back and won it because they were good enough to do so. Bulls won 3 straight NBA championships. Name me one player they picked up that made the difference in them winning 3 world championships in a row. From 1991, 92 to 93. Who was the player they picked up? Judd Bushler? Stop it with the excuses. There's no excuses for what LeBron has done. He's becoming unhinged because he knows it's his play. You ever play with somebody on the court who normally hide and they sucking it up, they start looking at you and blaming you? Man, dog, why you ain't do that? Why you staying there, Fabi, dog? Nobody told you to run down the court and shoot the ball. You've been doing it all game. Now when it ain't dropping, it's our fault. That's what's going on here. You ain't been using the team. If you'd have saw the game in which they lost in overtime, LeBron took a shot with 15 seconds to go. He shot a 3 and he missed. When he got that ball, he should have threw an overhead pass. The guy was wide open cutting to the basket and Kevin Love. He'd have gave that ball to Kevin Love. Kevin Love had a dunk on his hands, or he would have got fouled. It was 15 seconds. He'd have hit 2 for 1. You down 3. He either got a dunk, you down 1 with 15 seconds. You could play D, or you could foul. Initially when they come in, it gives you a better opportunity. Maybe they go 1 of 2. This is playing basketball. Then LeBron James gonna say Greg Popovich is the best coach in the NBA, in NBA history. You've never played with this coach a day in your life. But you gonna say this is the greatest coach in NBA history, though you going up against this coach all the time, every season that you play. But yet, he's greater than any coach you've ever had. So what is that saying to Tyronn Lue? What is that saying to any coach that you've ever played for? Oh, he's the greatest coach in the league. Why? Because you don't like to be coached? You don't know what coaching is. Because you haven't been coached. You ignore what the coach is saying. You go out and do what you want to do. That's why they had to have the film study guy to be the head coach in Miami. He'll be out of a job soon. But it ain't his fault. He did the best he could. He's overpaid for his position. He's a film study guy. Not a coach. And back to Shaquille O'Neal. Here's a guy, Orlando had to give him a bonus and give him a trainer. He was shooting 75 to 80% with a free throw shooting coach. Got to the Lakers, he didn't want to do that no more. He didn't want to work on his game. He want to party. He want to film movies. He want to do all these other things besides work. So for a guy like Shaq to talk about work ethic and what it's going to take to repeat and all this stuff, he needs to keep his mouth shut. Because you want an exemplary example of what a dedicated athlete should be. So, excuse me if we don't support you, Argentina. Now, let's get back to the nitty-gritty. The Cleveland Cavaliers are in first place. All this crying, all this whining, all this losing. Y'all are still in first place because the Eastern Division or the East Coast or whatever you want to call it, it sucks. They're gonna stick your crabbaby butt back in the NBA Finals. Okay? So you can stop your little crying. They're gonna stick you in the finals anyway. So it don't even matter. But you know y'all gonna get rolled by Golden State. And it's okay. Because my buddies seem to believe that they're going to pave the way for you to win 3 rings. Don't worry about it. So you can get your Mario Chalmers back on the team, and that still ain't going to be enough. And you know it. Y'all going to get rolled because they figured it out. Cleveland is a bunch of bums. We're shooting unnecessary threes and making it easy for these bums. All we got to do is run plays and make the extra pass. They don't know how to transition, defend anything. They're terrible. We could just go to the basket on them all day. And now with Kevin Durant making the extra pass and trusting that the ball will come back and he'll still get his numbers. He's trusting that now, and he's got the OKC out of his system. They understand now. They can really run the table. It's going to be hard to beat this team 4 times. And this is all I was banking on. This is all I was trying to tell people. LeBron just wants to have 6 rings so he can be in the conversation of Michael Jordan. He thinks that's it. I get 6, I'm ahead of Kobe and all this. He's playing for stats. That's it. That's it. He's playing for stats. He want to win championships, and he want the league to keep putting him there. You know he ain't got that many years left. The NBA don't really need LeBron no more. They need you for the East, and that's it. Because right now the teams is already set. On the West, they got all the new superstars coming up. You could almost phase LeBron out. It's time. His game has digressed down to almost nothing. He's done. All that high-flying LeBron James act, that stuff's over. He's done. You won't see LeBron taking over no game at no time soon. You won't even get flashes of it. He's just done. So he can cry about playing 40 minutes a game and all that stuff all he wants. LeBron's done. Everybody's tired of his act. It's old. So, on that note, I'm out. And Shaq, shame on you.